Hello adventurers and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a highly requested video that you guys have been asking for. How to stay warm during the winter is something that a lot of people have been asking about time and time again throughout my 6 years of travel. And from staying in a van to staying in a tent, I've done everything in between, and I've tried a lot of different things, but today I'm going to be trying out something that you guys requested. Base layers. Now, what are base layers? Well, these right here are base layers, and you'll notice that they have a leggings and also a long crew shirt. And what you do is you wear these as a layer below your regular clothing whenever it's super cold, or you can wear these under your pajamas to keep you a little bit warmer at night. Now, I found this particular brand at my local Walmart. This is by Cuddl Duds. They're the Climate Right series, and you'll notice that they have a few different kinds of these based on the indicators at the top. Now, a lot of people wear base layers whenever they're in extreme cold temperatures, and a lot of people wear them under ski clothes whenever they're out skiing, but that doesn't mean that the everyday average camper can't also wear them. So I actually purchased these with my own money, and I'm going to try them out so you guys can see if the ones that are very easy to access at our local Walmarts are actually worth the money, so to speak. Now, these weren't super expensive, and I think altogether I spent $24 on a set of these for a top and a bottom. And they do, again, have a lot of different things to kind of know about them. So we're going to dive into that today and talk about the difference between the different kinds, and then also what I'm going to be doing to prepare for the night, and then I'll give you a review in the morning after I wake up. Now, starting off, you'll see that they are rated for warm, warmer, and warmest. I went ahead and picked up the ones that were rated for warmest because it's been pretty cold as I've been camping right now. But the back tells the big story, how these exactly work. And you can see the variety of different kinds of illustrations here to kind of explain it a little bit more. We're using these to make sure that we stay warm but also dry, because in the cool air that I've been in lately, it's been a very moist, cool air, and with that you can end up getting quite chilly in the night, or even causing like a cold night sweat, and that's a very uncomfortable thing to wake up to. So these are moisture wicking, but they're also a thermal insulant, and they have yarn that is made from recycled bottles. Right here you can see how the hollow core fibers actually work and pull away the moisture from your skin, and it helps your body to stay warmer that way, and I think that's really awesome. Now, if you've been watching my channel for very long, you know that I typically bundle up and wear super big bulky layers, but this is supposed to keep me warmer without having to use those bulky layers, or if I put one of those bulky layers on top, it's supposed to make me even warmer than I would be if I were to layer them regularly. So I'm very interested to see how this works out. Again, these were not very expensive, and considering the price point, I think every single one of us could afford this, and we don't have to go to a major sporting goods store and spend up to $80, because I found these in other stores for a large price point. Now, are these going to be the same quality? I don't know. We'll find out pretty soon. But one of the things that really drew me to these was the fact that they're a lightweight material. So since they're a lightweight material, they're not going to make me feel heavy whenever I'm sleeping, because that can be kind of hard for some people. So I wanted to test something that was going to be a light, breathable, comfortable fit. And so, well, we'll see how the fit actually works whenever I try them on later. But I just kind of wanted to share this with you because, again, it's winter time, and a lot of people are trying to figure out how to stay warm in their vans, and many of them, like myself, don't have insulation and might not have access to a way to power their van to have heat. Now, I am fortunate that I can plug in an electric blanket to one of my power stations, or even a small heater like my handy heater, but some people don't have that. So this could be an option for you if you are limited on power or don't have power at all. But we'll find out more as I try them on in just a little while. It's still a little warm outside, so I'm going to take in these last few moments of sun, but I'll catch you whenever I put them on. A couple more things before I go ahead and change. It says here on the care instructions that you machine wash these in cold on the gentle cycle. Also use non-chlorinated bleach when needed, and tumble dry on low and remove promptly. So that sounds pretty easy. I really do like that they're made out out of recycled materials. I try to find things every so often that are, because I think that that's helping us do our part just as individuals. If you're new to my channel, you might not know this, but every time I get an opportunity to try to give back, I try to do that. I currently walk for trees through Tree Card. For every 10,000 steps, it plants a tree, but then I also take additional points that I receive from referrals and things like that and turn them into recycling plastics. So I think this is right alongside something that I can definitely stand behind if it works correctly. But there's a lot more to this, and let's look at like the texture of it to kind of see. I did notice that there's a difference between the warm and the warmest. The warm was more of a slick, thin material. It was very reminiscent of like a sun shirt or like a fishing shirt that you would wear, but this one is a little bit more fluffy despite being so thin. So check this out. So the outer portion of it is more of a slick material, but then whenever you turn it over, this part is almost kind of like a micro fleece feel. It's very soft. So I'm very encouraged by this as like a sleep shirt because I think it'll be nice and soft on the skin. But again, a little bit different. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and open up the packaging and kind of see what it looks like before we put it on in a few minutes, and see if I think that it'll be true to size. I did try to size up just a little bit so that it'll have a little bit of movement, but I didn't want to size up too much because I felt like sizing up too much would kind of defeat the purpose of it going up against your skin and keeping your heat in. I think it'd be a good fit. It feels a little bit different than I thought it would. When I pick it up, it almost feels like a very light sweatshirt. Whenever it was in the package, it felt more like a legging material, but whenever I'm holding it like this, it has a little bit more squish to it than I thought it would. So this could be very good, because if it's a little bit looser on the arms and things like that, I think that I'll like it. It also has finger holes so I can put my hands through it, which is very good because if I do decide to sleep in gloves ever, I can still put my hands through comfortably with this. Okay, so I went ahead and put on the base layers, and you can see I have them on, and it comes up to a nice height on my neck. So I went ahead and put on another layer with it so it can trap in the heat because it's going to get pretty cool tonight. And so far so good. I also have on some sweatpants over the base layer leggings. I will say that for me personally, I like to sleep in a little bit of a looser pant, so I don't know how this is going to work for sleeping because it almost feels a little bit too claustrophobic with 2 layers. But other than that, I am cozy right now. I'm just kind of hanging out, and I've been watching something on Netflix, and as I have, the temperature's been slowly dropping into different phases of the evening, and as it is, I'm nice and cozy. When I started to feel that a little bit of chill was coming into the van, I went ahead and put on the underlayer first, and then I went ahead and ate my dinner and everything like that, just wearing the underlayer, and I was a considerable bit warmer than I was whenever I was just wearing my other clothes. So I was wearing like sweatpants before and just a regular shirt, and so whenever I put on the under base layer, it was warmer than the sweatpants were by themselves. So whenever I added the sweatpants on top of it, it was considerable, like double layering of warmth, and I was super comfortable in just the shirt. But as it started to get a little bit colder, my head itself was getting cool, and I didn't want to put on a beanie. So I'm really enjoying this. I'll probably be able to sleep in both layers of the shirt. I probably will just go in with sweatpants to sleep in though, for me personally. And you might not be the same way. I just feel like the stretch in this is a little bit different, and getting used to it is taking a little bit more. And again, I just like to sleep in something a bit looser. But during the day, I could definitely see this being something super cozy that I would definitely be into. So there's that. Okay, good morning everyone. I slept in my van last night using my base layers, and I chose not to sleep in the pants, but I slept in the shirt, and I could definitely tell the difference between my top and my bottom when it came to the warmth. And so it was very clear that the base layers do in fact work. Now, they were pretty soft all night. I felt nice and cozy. And one of the things that I noticed was, because of the way that the shirt fits, and I'll show you that in just a second, The tail of it is a little bit longer in both the front and the back, so you can actually tuck it into your top layer of clothing and it keeps everything kind of in place. Now, if you're wearing the base layer pants, you can actually tuck the top into the pants and then it keeps everything kind of as one unit, almost like a little hug of a onesie. So that was super handy because sometimes whenever you move in your sleep, your shirt can wiggle just a little bit and kind of bunch up, but doing it where you actually tuck it in the front and the back, it did not do that. So I slept pretty well. Now, it got pretty cold last night and I wanted to see just how much that these would keep me warm. So I started off my night with just one light blanket and then my little throw blanket. And on other nights that have been the same temperature, I have needed a lot of blankets. I ended up adding one additional small blanket, but I did not add my heating blanket or my big fluffy blanket last night because this kept me warm enough, which was pretty spectacular. So let me show you what I'm talking about how the shirt tucks in. Okay, so right now I have it pulled out just so you can kind of see that it angles up on the side and then angles down in the front and in the back. So this gives you lots of room to tuck in. And my pants line itself is like up here. So you can see I could have about this much tucked in so that it could secure the pants. And I really liked that. And then this morning I just came out and I pulled it out and you can see this is how much would be tucked in, holding the shirt in place. Now again, guys, I picked these up at Walmart. They were just in like the section that has pajamas and intimate apparel items. You can find these in that section and there's several different kinds. I purchased the ones that said warmest because I needed something that was going to be able to get down into the 20s and 30s. But if you were to get the warm or warmers, those can get you into some chillier conditions, but I probably wouldn't trust them as far as I do the warmest, simply because they do have a little bit of a different texture and feel to them. These are a little bit more weighty when it comes to how that they feel on the body, although still very light and breathable. So that was kind of cool. The one thing that I would suggest if you are going to be using these as nighttime apparel is definitely put your hands through the little finger holes, but maybe potentially wear gloves. You can get some gloves that are made out of the same material as base layers also at Walmart so that they can be thin and movable and breathable, but I didn't really need those. Typically, whenever I get cold, I just take my hands and put them into my pocket and just kind of sleep like this, and it's cozy. And on worst case scenario nights, I get hand warmers out. Speaking of which, last night I didn't need hand warmers, and that was amazing because it was in the 30s, and typically in the 30s, I am clinging to those hand warmers in my pockets like this. But because I had the extra layer, I didn't feel like my body needed it, which was very cool. It was a big win for me. So this was probably one of the best investments of like $24 that I have made in a long time. So remember, guys, if you are wanting to camp and you're looking for something to make your camping during winter a little bit better, you don't always have to have the most power. You don't always have to have the most heating devices in your van. Sometimes it can be as simple as something like a base layer. I definitely recommend these, and I would encourage everyone to get them, to at least put them in their emergency kit, if nothing else, because if you're stranded in a place and you have something like this, it could be the difference between you being super cold or you tolerating the area that you're in. Remember, guys, we're not here for a long time, but we are here for a good time, and well, this one gets the bunny stamp of approval. Until next time, guys, bye.